Hey everyone, I've been playing a lot of Unification. I got invited to a couple matches, and I won most of them with Death Guard. I've been getting better with them. I still haven't read everything, and I still not tried out everything, so... Anyways, after winning with Death Guard, I wanted to try something different. I really liked Death Guard's mechanics, but I wanted to try out other factions' mechanics. Just like how I tried to figure out how Sisters worked, I wanted to try out how other factions worked. And I tried most of them out. I even tried out Tau. So I tried out a lot of them. And this is... I'm looking for a second faction to main. So I got two of them to go back and forth. So in Soulstorm, it was Sisters, Dark Eldar, and Guard. Those are like my three. And when I want to feel like messing around, I use Space Marines. Space Marines is like my mess around faction. So I'm trying to do the same thing with this mod. This mod is getting more and more popular, and it's getting more and more updates. They have a lot of plans for this. If you think this is the final version, it's not. They're gonna add a lot more stuff. Maybe even more factions to the game. So anyways, I'm looking for a new one to play. So Dark Eldar, their level 1 is pretty much the same. Their level 2, small changes, but not a big deal. Their level 3 and level 4 is where it gets really interesting. They have a lot of new vehicles and a lot of new characters. So Dark Eldar only had the Archon. Homunculus. The Homunculus was just like a generic scientist guy. That wasn't like his real name. But now they have actual characters, so that's pretty neat. I'm gonna go ahead and show off some stuff in the painter, just to save some time. And after this, I'll show some gameplay, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So the first major change that you got, this, whatever this is, it says she can possess enemy squads, which is really cool. So normally you possess vehicles, but she can possess squads. I haven't tried it out, don't know how it works. I'm gonna have to play a lot. These guys look super ugly right now, but from far away they look great. I know this sounds weird, but yeah, they look great from a distance. They did it. If you look at the board game, these guys look exactly like the board game. So these guys absolutely nailed it out of the park. And these guys' special ability is the more they get hurt, the stronger they get. So that's pretty cool. So I guess that makes them a low priority in a fight, because you don't want to shoot them. So that's pretty cool. It's an interesting mechanic. And let's see if I can find... We have everybody except for the one I want to talk about. Wow. Oh, there she is. She's in the game. If you guys don't know, this girl here is probably the most popular and most famous Dark Eldar out of all of them. So she's in the game. And she's basically a Harlequin. She jumps around. But now Dark Eldar have Harlequins now. So yeah, that's awesome. This isn't exactly what she looks like in the board game, but it's pretty close. It's close enough. I mean, yeah, I'll just end it there. Dark Eldar. The next one I want to go over is I don't really have a system. I'm just gonna pick one. Whatever comes up first. Legion of the Dam is pretty interesting. What makes them unique is all their stuff is free. So if you played Necrons and you're like, oh, free Necrons. With Legion of the Dam, everything is free. Absolutely everything. Upgrades, buildings, turrets is all free. So Legion of Dam, pretty interesting. The only real problem with them is their level 1 is absolutely garbage. But once they hit level 2, they're pretty decent. So that's just something you have to get used to. At the most, I think you can only have like 4 squads on the screen. So they take up a very small portion of the map, even at full power. But having free everything is interesting. Whoops. The next one I want to talk about, I probably won't main Legion of the Dam because they're just so weird. I like them, but they're weird. Next one. Wow, there's a lot of factions in the game. There's like 4 pages. Sisters, I like the new sisters, but there's not enough changes for them to make it interesting. Their upgrade tree is exactly the same. I'm just not gonna. I don't think I'll pick up sisters. Steel Legion. I actually really like Steel Legion. They were the worst faction for like forever, but they made it so you don't have to make the barracks anymore. So you can just. I tried them out twice, and I figured out you can skip the barracks, and being able to skip the barracks makes it super fun. These guys here are basically calf skins, but they're like half the price. So you can have a lot of these guys. These guys here, honestly, might get nerfed. They were able to destroy a building in like 4 seconds. So I can see these guys getting nerfed. And then you got like this here, which is pretty rad. I like that one a lot. This here is pretty neat. So Steel Legion can't fix their stuff. Only this vehicle can. I think they used to be able to do that, be able to fix their stuff. They must have gotten nerfed. I can see Steel Legion getting a nerf. None of their stuff is overpowered, but they can just get it out so easily. None of their stuff has like restrictions, so they can just get all this stuff out super easily. There's no like restrictions on any of this stuff. And there's Yerk. Let's see. The last one I might play a lot of, if I can find it. And then I'll show you gameplay, so you know what the mechanics are. This might be a long video, because I'm going to show you a bunch of gameplay. I really like 13th Company. 13th Company, you're in level 1 for like forever, but their level 1 isn't bad. And the way they go around leveling up is pretty interesting. And what I like about it is this is actually your builder, and your builder does a lot of your fighting. So I think that's pretty interesting. Same thing with Steel Legion actually. With Steel Legion, your builder does a lot of fighting for you. So that's pretty interesting. I'll go ahead and show off the gameplay now. This is all computer stuff because I didn't want to, I didn't want to. These are the ones I won. That's a weird sentence, but these are the people I beat, real people. I'll talk about that later. That's gonna be a pain to record. This stuff here is gonna be a little bit easier to record. So, and this stuff here is fresh in my mind. So it'll be a bit easier. So this is 13th Company. A guy invited me to play this map, and I'm actually really liking this map. It's called Chaos Gate. Now most new maps suck. They're just really awkward. A lot of them are like, a lot of the new maps are like diagonal for some reason, and it's just really, really awkward to play on a diagonal map. It's just a huge pain in the ass. So I don't really like the new maps. What's interesting about 13th Company is you start out with a capper. I don't know how many factions start out with a capper, but that's pretty cool. This barracks here is like 150, so it's like the super dirt cheap. My builders are actually more expensive. I'm buying builders right now, and these builders are actually more expensive than the barracks. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a bit because nothing too crazy happens. So when you buy something from here, it teleports. And I went ahead and smacked my building, so it's injured now. And what that does is it gives me a special resource, and I use that special resource to buy generators. Another interesting thing about 13th Company is they only have like 2 buildings. So what you see right here is actually them almost full powered already. The game just started, I'm already almost full power. So that's something I really like about them. They also have mines instead of listening posts. These mines don't generate any economy. So Space Wolf's economy is pretty bad, and they are in the level 1. They are level 1 for a long time, and level 1 can be expensive. So it's not the cheapest faction out there. They are Space Wolves, which are the Vikings, but their playstyle, their hit and run playstyle, it reminds me of a lot of White Scars, and I'm a pretty big fan of White Scars after reading their books. I can't pronounce any of their names, but I really dig White Scars hit and run tactics.
Let's see their data now.
So I think I'm fighting Eldar in this clip. Or Harlequins. Harlequins put up a pretty good fight. I don't know jack about Harlequins. I did play them for like 10 minutes, and they were just super hard to look at. And they were just a huge pain in the butt. From what I can tell about Harlequins, is they're very melee focused, and they're very heavy on the ability. So if you like ability melee faction, you can pick Harlequins. Tyranids are a melee faction that don't really rely on abilities. So if you want an ability-less melee faction, just play Tyranids. So yeah, you'll see this for a good chunk of the game. They have above average stats if you look at them, but they're pretty much your only unit. And it makes sense that they have above average stats, because Space Wolves are supposed to be better than everyone.
What do we do now?
So that makes sense.
Quiet. We don't want it.
I'm not sure how they would actually balance that though. And it says here that they're supposed to be Space Wolves in training. So either like these are like baby Space Wolves. These aren't like actual Space Wolves. So that's pretty interesting. They're like baby Space Wolves. And yeah, I just teleported my commander in the front lines, which is pretty cool. My one big issue with Space Wolves is all their upgrades take like an hour to finish, and that's my only real gripe with them. And here you see my engineer in the front lines, and you'll be seeing that a lot. Oh, I also made this I made this barrier which does damage, but they can just shoot it. It's not invisible or anything. They can just see it and shoot it. It only cost me 20 points to build it, so you know.
Where's the fighter?
Here I'm gonna smack this building with my builder, my Iron Priest, and what that does is it gives me it lets me buy upgrades and level up everything. So in order to level up with Space Wolves, you just have to smack. I smacked this building too. So in order to level up with Space Wolves, you have to smack buildings. And what's funny is they have above average damage. Their damage, as you can see here, is above average, but it still takes them forever to destroy buildings. I don't know if that's a Harlequin thing. I'm actually doing 0 damage to this building. It's actually glowing, which I don't understand. Mild regeneration. That's weird. It went from like half health to 0. But yeah, I don't know dingus about Harlequins. These things here, these players are super annoying. I think the computer ended up making a bunch of them, and they were just super hard to deal with. It's just a big old squad of Harlequins for like 160, I think, which doesn't sound very fair, if you ask me. But maybe Unification's at the point where 160 squad of Harlequins isn't that big of a deal. So I am level 1, so I can't do anything super fancy. I got an economy upgrade, because even with total map control, my economy's in the crapper. I built these mines here. I'm pretty sure they can see them, because Harlequins can detect. They don't even blow up for some reason, so that sucks. So I will fast forward a bit because it's just going to be what you just saw there is going to be most of it. But I did want to show off Space Wolf gameplay. Now they do have their Primarch, Lehman Russ. He is in the game. He doesn't look super great, and I thought he'd be taller, because Vulcan is like huge. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. And Rogodorn is like massive. So I'm not sure what's going on there. On level 2 now, I got my level 2 melee unit. These guys here are pretty good. 166 at 244, and they're pretty cheap too. So pretty good unit. At level 2, you only unlock like 3 things. So it's not a very exciting tier 2. But because But because you're spending all your money on one unit, it's actually pretty easy to tier up. It's super easy to tier up with Space Wolves, as long as your engineer is going around hitting buildings. And here's my dogs doing pretty, or wolves. It is Space Wolves. Here's my wolves doing a pretty good job. I think the wolves are black and white because it's supposed to represent, like, you know, it's symbolic. I think that's how they did it in the books too. In the books, they're black and white as like symbols. Here I built a minefield on this slag. I don't think the computer ever uses slag, but you know, every time I put mines down, it costs me like 10 points. So this cost me like nothing. And it's like 10 mines too. It's not like the usual 5. It's like 10 mines right here. And I do have a really tiny baby generator. This is what I get for punching those buildings and punching my own buildings. When I punch my barracks, I had to punch my barracks to get my generators going. So yeah. Basically, when you play Space Wolves, these numbers here will always be low. It's pretty much impossible to get these numbers crazy high. I do have the economy bonuses, so there is that. I think I do win this game at level 2. I do have my chaplain, which is nice. I always thought the chaplain sucked, but I just recently lost a Death Guard game. Basically just the chaplain. Just the chaplain ripped right through my Death Guard army. So... And the chaplain, I teleported the chaplain to the front lines, which is pretty neat. I think Space Marines maxed out. They all get like jetpacks, so it's not even that big of a deal. Here I pretty much won, so I kind of just AFK'd. I knew the wolves weren't attacking for some reason, but I was like, it's whatever. And here it takes like an hour to destroy this. I don't know why. I guess it's that mild healing. It says right there it has a mild amount of healing. But that mild amount of healing is... These guys have above average damage. And I cannot hurt this building. Which is absolutely frustrating. Now I know I don't have any anti-vehicle right now, but I still feel like this should go down quicker. As you can see, I pretty much have the same unit over and over again. You don't really get new units until like level 3. It is pretty easy to go level 3. It's not like the hardest thing ever. Here I get the Meltas. I just want to try them out. So I have one Melta. Just to test it. If I bought 2 Meltas, I would get... I wanted to see how good one Melta was. It definitely helps, but not a whole lot. Here I get the Rune Priest. The Rune Priest is awesome. I love the Rune Priest. So, he's really cool. I really enjoyed him. There's not many sorcerers that I like, but the Rune Priest is one of them. He's really cool. And what's cool about Space Wolves is they don't have a million commanders to keep track of. You really only have a couple of units to pick from, which is weird because in the board game they have like a million units to pick from. So yeah, that's kind of strange. Oh yeah, when you go up a level, your buildings get stealthed, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure why Space Wolves have stealth technology, but you know, them controlling them controlling this chaos gate, that I can get behind. You know, them controlling this chaos gate, that I can get behind. But them stealthing their buildings, I don't know about that. Here I buy a bunch of barracks, because the barracks actually give me more stuff. So I don't know if I can show you this, but they're like plus 10 or like plus 20. So building these barracks actually gives you money. So that's nice. It's not a bad idea to build 2 of these at the start, because they just give you... these buildings here probably give you more money than these listening posts. Here I got Wolfens. Wolfens are pretty cool. So Blood Angels are vampires. Wolfens are like werewolves. So that's pretty neat. And I think I'm making... what else am I making? The Stormclaws. Stormclaws are my version of assault units, so they can jump around the map and punch stuff. So that's my version of assault marines. And next level, I get like I think it's like death wolves or something, or angry wolves. They're like yellow. They're pretty cool. I didn't make, even at 15 minutes, I didn't make any vehicles. And I had map control like the whole game. So, if you want to make vehicles, you have to do a lot of punching your buildings. And it's fun, but it's kind of a pain. It's like, if you want to make one vehicle, you have to punch your building like, you have to punch your buildings like 3 times. Which gets kind of annoying. But yeah, that's Space Wolves. I might try them out more later. I don't have any Legion of the Damned gameplay. Like I said, you can only really have 4 squads. What's nice about Legion of the Damned is like all their units do like 50 damage a second. So they don't have any weak units, which is nice. But they have no map control like at all. That's like their downside. They have absolutely zero map control in exchange for having 50 damage at the start. Basically, they have level 2 units at the start of the game, and that's how Legion of the Damned works. And they get stronger, of course. Here I'll do the same map. I really like this map. This is Steel Legion. I'm not sure if I did the skip the barracks thing. It took me a while to figure that out. If you make the barracks, you can't buy anything. So it's like there's no point in buying it. It's all the stuff in there is closed. So there's pretty much no reason to buy it. And if you look at this art right here, the art you're looking at, that's basically Death Guard. A fat demon jumping on a bunch of soldiers. Now these demons are like not stealthy at all. So I guess they're just confused. They do pop out of nowhere whenever they want, but I don't think they're stealthy. So yeah, here's Steel Legion gameplay. This is against Imperial Fist computer. Even though I say computer, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's player level, but it's getting there. And I don't think I want it to be player level, because then I'd just be stressed out all the time. Anytime I fight a player, I get stressed out.
The build is to conquer.
So your builders
Count on us.
cap, and because you should skip the barracks, you should just cap the first thing you do. Here I'm building a generator because they go through power super quick. I had like 600 power and I just went through it in like a couple seconds. So they go through power super quick. You're gonna have to build like a million of these things.
Location secure. Should we begin fortification?
So I'm actually building, I think that, oh, I am building the barracks. You can't buy anything, so it's,
Area ready for
you should build the armory. The armory is actually really nice. So what I like about Steel Legion is it's just really fast. I'm at 1:30, and I already have like 4 listening. You know, I basically have 4 listening posts at 1:30. If this was Death Guard, I'd just be now leaving my base. Like just now leaving my base with Death Guard. I wouldn't have 4 listening posts. I would have like 1.5 with Death Guard. So that's pretty cool. The only downside is all your units are junk.
From the front.
So that's the one downside of Steel Legion, is all your units are junk. But you can have like map control. As soon as the game starts, you have like map control. This is my commander. He's pretty bad. But you can scare away some level 1 units. You can do, this commander can do like 2 fights before he dies, which isn't bad, I guess. So I think I'm gonna get into 2 fights and then see what happens. And because your builder's cap, I actually have like 7 cappers. It says 4 right here, but I actually have like 7 cappers. So that's cool. And because this is like Imperial Guard, I don't really have melee units. This is like my only melee unit. None of these guys are terrible at melee. So you can melee with these guys if you want. They're not terrible at it. You will lose that fight, but I think you'll do a lot of damage. So another cool thing about Steel Legion is their builders, not only are they important, but they can also turn invisible at level 1. So pretty much as soon as the game starts, you can make them invisible. I don't know if that's going to get nerfed or not, because that's kind of strong. It's basically like giving Imperial Guard stealth suits. And I did play Tau. They made stealth suits better, which was the most annoying unit in the game. And they made them better. So I don't know how I feel about that. And I will fast forward this, so it's not like a 2-hour long video. It is Imperial Fist. I like Imperial Fist. I just wish they had more defensive. There's supposed to be a defensive faction, and I wish they had more. I wish they were more like that. Right now, you can because all their units are good. Because every Imperial Fist unit is very good, you can actually be very aggressive with them. Yeah, I wish Imperial Fist was more defensive. That'd be cool. A defensive Space Marine faction. I think that'd be cool. I think Death Guard was supposed to be like a defensive faction, but it's super hard to set that up. It's really hard to set it up. So I just don't play defensive with them. You can. It's just super hard to do it.
Taking fire. Setting picket line.
Oh yeah, another thing I noticed was Tyranids are just a lot better. This is kind of like an off-topic thing, but I noticed Tyranids were just a lot better. In Ultimate Apocalypse, Tyranids were pretty much useless in any fight, even against like scouts. And in Unification, they can actually like kill stuff. Each and every one of their units does like 40 damage a second, which is above average. So each and every one of their units is like a big threat. So I really like that.
Ready for construction.
I really like the way they have Tyranids right now. I did talk to them. I did talk to some people, and I guess they're gonna add more Tyranid stuff. So I'm pretty excited for that. I don't think they're gonna add. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna add new units, but we'll see. They're gonna touch up on Tyranids, but they I don't think they're gonna add new units. Oh, another cool thing about Steel Legion, and this was in the game for a while, was your listening posts can make guys. So I can make guys out of here whenever I want. So see, I can barely. I'm really struggling to take this guy out. If this guy was actually shooting me, this squad will go down. But yeah, that was in the game for a while. I can actually buy. This is actually a shop, so that's pretty cool. You are buying like the most useless unit in the game, but it is a shop, so that's cool. One bad thing about Steel Legion is you can see all these weapon upgrades, and all these weapon upgrades are like level 3, which is kind of lame. You can't get like special weapons until like level 3, so that sucks. In Steel Legion, they really struggle against turrets, so there's no real way to kill them, to kill the turrets. Here I get my scout tank, and it's supposed to be a detector, but it dies, and you'll see here it dies in like one shot. I think you're supposed to put a guy in here to make it better, but it just gets like one-shotted. So I completely forget which guy you're supposed to put in that tank to make him better. So I have to look that up. Yeah, I really like Steel Legion. 10 minutes, level 2, pretty good. And they can do that pretty much every time. So that's pretty cool. And here I'm getting the slag. So I went from a faction that can't get economy at all to a faction that has a pretty solid economy. Another thing I'll mention about Steel Legion is you can upgrade this building so it has guns, and the guns on these things are insane. They can take out like level 3 units, no problem. So if you put guns on this thing, you're basically unstoppable. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Steel Legion doesn't really have a whole lot of anti-vehicle options. So really your only anti-vehicle options is just a big old vehicle fight. If you're level 2 and they're level 2, you basically just have to get into a big vehicle fight. Each of these guys is 20 points, and I got a pretty high economy. So fast forward a bit. I don't want this video being 2 hours long. Oh, I just used my tank's ability where it like blows up, and it does math. It says on there you're supposed to use it against buildings. So I'll try to show that again. But it went from like full health to like 30%. So that's pretty cool. Here I got my long range vehicle, which didn't do well. And I can't heal it either. Steel Legion can't like fix their vehicles. And I really like these turrets. These turrets are pretty neat. But yeah, Steel Legion has been in the game for years now. I don't know. I don't know if they were always like this, or I just figured them out. So, I don't know. I'm making the commanders because they're basically free. But they lose to like anything in the game. All our commanders lose to like anything. So that's something to keep in mind. I got my first squad of like Castigans. They're not Castigans, but they do really high damage. And I think they're also infiltrated because they have the infiltrated look to them. I'm not sure which upgrade did that. I actually have no idea. I don't know if they start out infiltrated. I have no idea. Oh yeah, and before you start the game with Steel Legion, you have to pick infantry or vehicle doctrine. And I picked infantry. Infantry, you get access to like long range vehicles, while vehicle doctrine, you get access to like plasma vehicles. And I think long range vehicles are always cooler. If you're like a plasma guy, you can do vehicle doctrine. But I'm like a long range guy, so I picked the infantry. And you can teleport your tanks around the map, so that's cool. This is like a level 4 thing, where you can teleport your tanks. I still can't fix them. So if this thing gets hurt, there's not a lot I can do about it. Yeah, I picked a very vehicle-heavy faction against a faction that's really good against vehicles. So this is a really bad matchup for me. And I'll go ahead and fast forward it so it's not a 2-hour long video. I really only have like 2 squads to pick from. Calfskins and these guys here. But I still really like them, even though I only have like 2 guys to pick from. They're pretty cool. And here's my like Bane Blade, which has a little bit of everything. It's got a cannon that does massive damage. It's got these flamethrowers. I see like machine guns too. So it just has everything, which is nice. I think if you pick the vehicle doctrine, you can get the stronger Bane Blade, but it's whatever. And here I think I just kind of turn my brain off. Once I get to like this part of the game, I just kind of zone out. I spent like 25 minutes try-harding, and once I get to this point, I just kind of zone out. I can't try hard for like a half hour. I just can't. So fast forward again. This Bane Blade kills a building in like 3 shots. So that's nice. So yeah, I'm not a Steel Legion expert. I haven't played them in years. I haven't played Space Wolves in years either. I think I do have a Space Wolf video somewhere on my channel, but it's probably buried. And yeah, that's a win for me. I really like them. I got one more I dropped my mouse. I got one more to show you. This is Steel Legion, like full power. I got a level 4 building here. It's not a pretty building, but it's pretty strong. It lets you build main blades. So, you know. And I built a 4 base here thinking it would shoot out and like kill stuff here, but no. And yeah, I got one more to show you. This one here, I didn't really know what I was doing. The next one I'll show you, I kind of knew what I was doing. I got, don't look at that. I lost a lot of guys. I was not a good leader. Don't look at that. In the Dark Elder video, or the Dark Elder part I'm going to show you should be really short. So, I'll show you this gameplay, and then the next part should be really, really short. I will tell you this, playing Steel Legion on like a medium-sized map is super fun. Because basically as soon as the game starts, you have map control. And I'll show you. So I'll speed it up because you already seen what I did.
To build is to conquer.
But pretty much as soon as the game starts, I have map control. I can't hold this. If anything walks over here, they can just kill everything. I have there's nothing I can really do to hold this.
Area ready for construction.
But it's still pretty cool. So if in 2 minutes I got what, 3.5? Yeah, 3.5 listening posts. So that's pretty cool. I think Chaos, it takes them a full 2 minutes just to make the barracks. So pretty cool. Oh yeah, like I said, you should always make this building first, because the other building, you can't even buy anything in it. So you should always make this building first. This is your research building. This lets you make your guys invisible, which is pretty cool. I think having invisible builders is just hilarious. You can just build stuff wherever you want. The buildings are not invisible, but you can just build stuff wherever you want. Now these guys here wasn't a bad matchup. They didn't have a million anti-vehicle, so this one shouldn't be as brutal. I know I said in my last video that the cannon's blind sucks, but I think in this situation here, the blind was actually a pretty good idea. When you're outnumbered like this, the blind is actually pretty good. As you can see, I shot at her for like a good 30 seconds, and I only did like 10% at the most. So, commanders are a huge threat to me. I do have a guy in here shooting, I think. It's really hard to see. It's really hard to see, but I think someone's taking damage.
Back to the fray.
But yeah, this building here is actually a shop, so I can just buy. I can really just, as soon as I get map control, I can just buy a bunch of stuff, and just if my army dies here, I can just go to the shop and just buy a new army. So it's pretty cool actually. I really enjoy that. Now here, not a lot happens because I have no way to kill the commander. So I will skip through a lot of this. And here I built I buy the building turret and I just think it's cool. So I just bought that because it's
Should we begin
cool.
fortification?
I didn't buy it because it's the right thing to do. I just bought it because it was cool. I don't play efficiently every time. And you'll see how gross these guys are.
Absolutely have to get there.
These guys here are super expensive. But you see how gross that is, right? That was like 4 seconds. That's pretty much unreactable. The only way you can react to that is if you're a computer. That's something I wouldn't be able to react to. Because a building getting destroyed in 4 seconds, there's not a whole lot you can do to stop that. I did have to run away because their melee damage isn't bad, but it is normal guys versus super soldiers. Here I have my chimeras. What's cool is these chimeras are actually shops too. So I can start buying armies.
To the fray.
So that's pretty cool. Now I think these are Imperial Guard always gets the best stuff, and Steel Legion and Krieg get like the knockoffs. So I think these are knockoff chimeras. They're not like the actual. They don't even have the guns in the back. These are like knockoff chimeras. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you put guys in here, the guns on the back would shoot. But as you can see, they're all closed up. So yeah. And there it is. I bought a unit from this vehicle. So that's pretty neat. And this is something I can do very consistently, which is cool. With other factions, I kind of have to make it up as I go. But I can do this vehicle thing pretty much every time with Steel Legion. They're very consistent. They're a very, very consistent faction. So I really enjoy that. I don't have to like figure out like weird stuff with them. They're just very, very consistent. Really what it is I can only buy like I can only buy this one squad. That's all I can buy. And these chimeras are all I can buy for level 2. So these are the only things I can buy, like, ever. These are the only units I can buy, so that it's kind of refreshing. Instead of like with Death Guard, I need to build like the perfect army to win. I have to have like the perfect combo to win a fight. With Steel Legion, I can just kind of do whatever I want, which is refreshing. Now, I don't know if they got any changes, because I'm pretty sure they're pretty much the same as I played them years ago. I think they got a few price changes, but other than that, they're basically the same. I did get Yurick. If you guys read any of the books, I think you guys know who Yurick is. Yurick can actually kill like Space Marines and like orcs and stuff, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's and Sisters actually use that morale damage ability. And I think I have a lot of the commanders make it so I can't really lose morale. I think if I was any other faction, I would lose morale. These guys here are super strong, but I don't think they can take out a tank. So I gotta start buying missiles. I am level 3, so I think I have access to missiles. This tank here I'm having mixed feelings on. It hits really hard, but it's so slow. It's so slow. So yeah, I guess I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm actually shooting missiles now, which is cool. These missiles actually hit really hard. They actually hit harder than the Space Marine missiles for some reason, which I don't know. This building here, the vehicle building, this is usually your tankiest building, and it went down pretty easily. So I don't know why it went down that quick. Oh, another cool thing about Steel Legion, before I stop gushing about them, is you actually tech up using your armory instead of your HQ. So your HQ can pump out units and stuff while you're teching. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I really like Steel Legion. I bet you guys expected me to play Imperial Guard. Imperial Guard didn't get that many changes. They have a lot of level 4 options now and level 5 options. But that's not really interesting to me. So I don't play a faction just to go level 5. Unless it's Necrons. Necrons has a lot of really cool level 5 stuff. That's the only faction I'll like gush over. And the Dark Elder one, this one's gonna be really short, so I just want to show you the new Dark Eldar stuff. I bet people already made videos on this. I'm probably super late to the party. But I noticed a lot of people getting the Dark Eldar story wrong. So I can tell you like the story of Dark Eldar. That's the one thing I can tell you that not many people can do. There's not a lot of Dark Eldar books, so at the most I can tell you like 4 things. There's really not that many Dark Eldar books. Same thing with Sisters. There's not a lot of sister books. So it is Dark Eldar versus Necrons, which is a weird matchup because I don't think the Necrons drop souls, so I don't get resources for fighting them. And I'll go ahead and fast forward this because if you guys saw my Dark Eldar stuff, you guys know what I'm gonna do. So I have like 50 Dark Eldar videos. So I bet you guys seen this like 100 times. So the level 1 is pretty much the same. Nothing too crazy to talk about. And it is against Necrons, so I can just take over the map. I really despise this map, but I thought it'd be a good for Dark Eldar. See, the computer makes a bunch of warriors, which is good. But it's a good fight. But yeah, I really despise this map, but it is a 3-lane map. There's a lane here, there's a lane here, and there's a lane here. It's a 3-lane map. And Dark Eldar does pretty well, 3 lanes. They don't have a whole lot of map control. They're really good at speed, but they don't really have map control. I wouldn't call them a map control faction. So they do well on 3-lane maps like these. I just really... It's a pretty ugly map too. I think it's like Bell Tower or something like that. I don't know. I think there's better 3-lane maps, but I just picked this one. I will fast forward it because not a lot to talk about. I just gotta build a super army to kill those warriors. And I think they buffed the Archon, which was weird because the Archon was already super good. See, this obelisk should have taken me like a minute to take out. And I took it out in like a couple seconds. So I think they buffed the Archon or something. And I watched a recent, I think I watched a recent Laughing Max video. And the Laughing Max video, the Necrons just went right through Space Marine like butter. And here I take out these Necrons like they're butter. So I'm not sure how that works. And here this Necron computer is using the... You get bonus energy if you do this. So I'm not sure why it's activating it now. I guess this thinks this generator is a lost cause, so it's getting the most out of it. Which isn't the worst idea. Yeah, and I don't know why these warriors rip right through these Necrons, which didn't happen in Soulstorm. So I'm not sure what's up with that. In Soulstorm, these warriors would just get torn up by these Necrons. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Necrons got a nerf or what. I actually have no idea. The Wraith, they changed its look a bit, but I think it has the exact same everything. So nothing to really talk about there. They did add Necron snipers in the game, which I always think are fun. I always thought Necrons could use snipers. So that's cool. I think I am level 2. I'm just upgrading my warriors. I only have 2 squads, but they're starting to win fights. So I'm upgrading them. So they should be looking fancy in a couple minutes. I'm not sure why the Necron Lord ran away. I think he would actually win that fight. I'm not sure why the Necrons isn't going up a level. You should have more resources than me, being Necrons. So I don't know. And these played ones actually almost take out my commander, which was surprising. Level 2, not much to talk about. I think I skipped level 2 and went straight to level 3. Level 2 wasn't super interesting. The only thing I can tell you is I think they buffed the Talos. I don't know if you guys know, but I absolutely love the Talos because it would like one-shot buildings. And one-shotting buildings is hilarious. So in Soulstorm, I think the Talos did like 300 damage per second. And I was looking at the Talos, and it does like 600, or not 600. It does like around 500 damage. So it went from 300 to 600, which is hilarious. So this is my level 3 unit. I think this is my best long range unit. I haven't played with it enough to figure it out. But yeah, new long range unit, which is cool. These guys here cost a lot. If these guys go down, you're losing a lot of resources. New melee unit. These guys have that ability where they get hurt, they get stronger, which is interesting. It's very Dark Elder too. The more they get hurt, the more excited they get. So that's such a Dark Elder thing. So I think that's pretty accurate to the game. I really like what they did with Dark Elder. I just wish they did that corn cob thing where every building would have that scare upgrade. If you guys play this corncob mob, you know what I'm talking about. I actually really like the corncob mob. That one's actually really nice. It's a nice mod. Here's those Cortex, Cortex I was talking about earlier. They look really ugly up close, but they look gorgeous. I think they look gorgeous. They did a really nice job on these. And they look exactly like they do in the board game, which is also really nice. These are like your I don't know, your ultimate level 3 melee unit, which is nice. Skip ahead. These warriors are maxed out, so if you thought those fights were lame before, now they're really lame. These buildings go down like a second, which I don't know why. Level 3 versus like level 1. So yeah. These buildings go down like a second, which is weird. In Soulstorm, you couldn't one-shot anything except with like snipers. But now in Unification, you can one-shot quite a bit. New vehicle. I just bought it to show you. It's like a better jet bike, so that's pretty cool. I didn't see it shoot, so I can't tell you how it shoots. Here's that girl who's probably the most famous Dark Elder. She spends like every day in the arena just fighting, and they say she never loses. So, and she's a Harlequin with like 2,000 health, and I bet you guys know how annoying Harlequins are. So a Harlequin with like 2,000 health is super annoying. But yeah, she just spends every day in the arena just fighting, and she'll fight anyone, which is interesting. She'll fight aliens, just anyone. So she's pretty cool. Warp Beasts, I don't know why they're not called Warp Beasts, but oh well. This is my final ultimate building, you could say. I think this is just ripped straight from Ultimate Apocalypse, so not much new there. I had to wait till I have enough power to actually buy anything. So once I get enough power, I can show you the new stuff. This is the first one. This is like your like Baneblade, I guess. The Dark Elder Baneblade. I'm pretty sure it's better than the DS, but it's pretty much the same price as the DS. So I don't know. It's got like what, like 3 guns on it, 4 guns. So that's pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of this. It gets stuck a lot. It does have a jump, which helps out. It just doesn't feel very Dark Elder. It should have like 100 spikes on it, you know? It should have like 100 spikes and skulls on it. That would be Dark Elder. It just doesn't feel Dark Elder when I look at it. It should have like 1,000,000 skulls on it. So, one more thing to show you. I think I made... Oh yeah, I made these things too. Not much to talk about. These are just like super units. This is like my ultimate unit. I think I could make a Titan, but I just didn't want to wait like 5 minutes to make a Titan. So if you let Dark Elder alone, they can make this, and it goes right through the HQ pretty quick, And because it's a plane, there's not a lot of ways to stop it. You know, it's pretty hard to stop an aircraft. So as soon as you hit like level 5 with Dark Eldar, you pretty much win. There's no real way of stopping this. So if you're doing like a 3v3 with Dark Eldar, you probably have to take him out first. Because this thing is a huge threat. So, and that's not even I didn't even activate the ability. The ability is like a super nuke. So, yeah. Dark Eldar with like nukes. And yeah, I bet this video is already like super lengthy, so I think I'll just end it there. Maybe you guys can decide which ones I try out. If you guys want me to try out something, I'll try it out. So yeah, yeah, I think that's it. I think those are all really nice. I like that they made Tyranids better. I got a bunch of Tyranids in my room, and I got the rule book. So I'm glad they made Tyranids better. And yeah, I think I talked about everything. I will say I don't know anything about Space Wolves. I read like half a book before I had to return it. So I know about half a book of Space Wolves. And it was like 30k. Which is like, I know it. I read the 30k stuff, which is the old stuff. So I have no idea what Space Wolves are up to. I have no idea what the 40k stuff is now. And Games Workshop released new videos talking about new stories. I have no idea when those stories take place. I don't know if it's 40k or 45 or maybe even 50k. I don't know if the new stories take place in 50k. I have no idea. So yeah, I think that's the end of it. I have a lot of the books, but I have absolutely no idea what's going on in the actual 40k. If you want me to talk about 30k, I can totally do that. Alright, I'll stop the books. Thanks for watching. Bye.